Good morning, everyone. May the 8th, Thursday, May the 8th. Hey, welcome to the Table of Knowledge stories this morning. Hey, you got flogged this morning at the table. Old Mother Hen came in and she went to flogging us. Her Grandma Hen come in and she went to flogging all of us with a newspaper. And she was pretty damn upset. But let me back up and I'll tell you the story before I tell you about Mother Hen beating us all with the newspaper. But anyway, so here a couple weeks ago, old Flat Top Earl, you know my nickname's Flat Top Earl, he comes in and he's got his two grandkids with him. Two boys, probably about a year apart. I think the oldest one was maybe 6, 7 years old. Maybe the youngest one was 3 or 4, something like that. But they were brothers. Their parents, or his daughter and son-in-law, went on some kind of short cruise or something, and they were gone somewhere. I don't know where they went. They was gone for 2 or 3 days, or I think for the whole week. And so Grandma and Grandpa was watching them. So anyway, the story is, I guess, what we got flogged this morning was they sat down at the table, you know, and if you're an old man out there, you know what I'm talking about. You know, they sat down at the table and bullshit at the table, you know, and everything, talking and going on, you know, all the stories and everything. And, you know, these two little boys, they sitting there, boy, they got their ears tuned in, you know, and another old, I can't remember who it was. I don't know if it was Stump or Lightning or who it was, but they said, I remember him telling them boys that, or asking them boys, I said, you boys been cussing yet? You boys started cussing yet? And I can't remember. I didn't pay much attention. There was another conversation going on. The spandex lady, she had some storytelling and going on. But anyway, come find out, I guess we taught them boys how to cuss. And, you know, they've been around Grandma and Grandpa, you know. And, I mean, they might have cussed around their mom and dad. We don't know. But being around their... being around her Grandma and Grandpa, you know, things was just a little bit with Grandma, you know. She didn't like that cussing, I guess. But anyway, we taught them to cuss, I guess. That's the story. So, I guess they was in their bedroom or something one morning, and the oldest one said to the youngest one, he said, you know, you ready to start cussing there, little brother? Little brother said, yeah. He said, let's try a cuss word with Grandma, you know. So anyway, they was just going to say one cuss word to start with, and they promised each other that they would say at least one cuss word. So Grandma has them come down for breakfast, you know, and the oldest one, you know, she's sitting there, and Grandma says, what do you want for breakfast? He said, oh hell, I guess I'll have some oatmeal, Grandma. Grandma turned around and she reached up there on that counter and she grabbed that wooden spoon out of her mixing deal sitting up there on the top of the cabinet, you know, or the countertop. She went to fanning his little fanning his little hiney, you know, and just beating the crap out of him, you know, spanking him, you know, and he was headed back to his bed, or back to the bedroom, I don't know, somewhere, bathroom or something, and she was on him just a fanning his little hiney, you know, and he was just squalling, you know, and going on. So anyway, pretty soon, the little guy, he was sitting there at the table, you know, and he was watching all this. Well, anyway, Grandma comes back in there and she looks at him, the little brother, and says, well, what do you want for breakfast? He stood there a minute and looked at his grandma and he says, well, I bet your fat ass I ain't going to ask for oatmeal. But anyway, that's kind of what was told this morning at the table, you know. And anyway, she took and she was fanning us guys. She had that newspaper rolled up, and, you know, she don't usually come. And I think her name was Rosalie or something like that. But, oh, my God, she was fanning that. And then what was funny was the lady that waits on us, I call her the spandex lady, which I don't know if she had spandex on or not. I didn't pay that attention. I was trying to protect myself. I didn't even irritate. I didn't even agitate it, you know. But anyway, she got into that spandex lady, and she said, "You need to start wearing some damn clothes and coming around these old men in the morning," you know. But it's kind of comical, but kind of had to be their top deal. But it's always interesting at the table of knowledge in the mornings, you know. But to that story where I guess we got accused of teaching them little boys to cuss. You know, think about that in life, you know. Kids look up to you, you know. Them kids are always looking up to you. And, you know, you got to be careful what you say around them kids. I know my grandkids, you know, I love them all to death. And I try to be, you know, watch my mouth around my grandkids. And because them grandkids, I guarantee you, them small kids are always listening to those old folks. So that's a lesson. That's kind of the lesson for the day, you know. If you kind of got to believe your, or you got to kind of leave your legacy behind, or I don't know if it's a legacy, but you got to, I don't know what the word is. I can't think this morning. How my mind's, or my brain's waterlogged and so behind on work, and it's raining again, you know, so. But anyway, you know, you kind of got to be careful what you say around these kids. You know, if you're talking, you know, they're always wanting to learn something. I know back when I was a kid at the table of knowledge at the trading post down there on the corner we used to go to and sit and bullshit with the old men and listen to them. You know, they taught us a lot. That's kind of why I got this idea to do a table of knowledge, you know, a long time, or quite a while. I wrote a book about the table of knowledge one time and told stories, you know, about sitting around listening to the old men and everything. But anyway, yeah, we need to watch what we say around a small child, you know, because they're always listening. They're wanting to learn something. And I know my one little grandson, my God, you got to be really careful what you say, because he'll repeat everything. Speaking of repeat, you got to be careful in my house what you say, because I got a parrot. I got this parrot give to me because this lady didn't want it no more. And I worked for her, and I always teased her. I didn't tease him, but I talked to that parrot. He really liked me because he talked right back to me. And a lot of people he wouldn't talk to. It's one of them gray African parrots. And I'll tell you what, we'll be sitting in there talking about something, and all of a sudden I hear my wife's voice, and I thought, what the hell? She's sitting right there. You know, or he'll say something about my grandkids' voice or something, and oh yeah, you got to be careful around the parrot even, you know. So, but anyway, I got a big day ahead of me, or kind of a big day ahead of me. I got a whole bunch of turkeys. Man, I wish my camera deal would turn, but I got it stabilized here, and I can't turn it. But man, I'm seeing a whole bunch of big old turkeys crossing the road up here, and one of them's got a beard. And I guarantee you that thing's 6-7 inches long. Holy cow. One of them's flying. Wow. But anyway, I got a busy day ahead of me, and we're headed to, I'm headed to do a little quick job, a little electric job, and got to go home and load some pigs up. My granddaughter's going to start showing jackpots. Got to go get some health papers on some pigs. Might get another dose of some kind of vaccination, depending on the vet, what he wants to do. And then got a big night ahead of me. Going to bowl my 300 tonight. I know it's going to be a 300 night. No, I doubt it. I might get a 200, but I ain't going to bowl no 300. That's a mental game, you know. I took up bowling a couple years ago, and I'm on a couple of leagues. I bowl on a Monday night league, and we got tractor pullers, guys. I know this was started out as a tractor pulling channel, but I guess kind of went down to one channel now, and I'm gonna put everything on this one channel that I do. And so if you don't like to listen to me, just turn me off. I don't care. I mean, I had that tractor pulling channel for a long time in my life. I mean, I think a long time, 7-8 years. Never did get 1,000 subscribers. I got tired of being a personal photographer, no likes. So now you're getting that table of knowledge on the morning. So, but anyway, that's kind of what's going on. I used to have another channel. It didn't go very good. Keeping it old school, but I turned it off. I'm doing everything on this one channel now. So But anyway, back to bowling. You know, that bowling, it's a mental game. And some nights you do real good, other nights you don't do worth a darn, you know. And I broke my wrist back when I was a kid, you know, rodeoing, and I get old, you know, it kind of hurts my wrist a little bit, and so I have to throw it overhanded like that. And when I first started, everybody thought, what the hell is that guy doing, you know? I can't throw underhanded. I can't hold my and turn it, you know. But anyway, I started bowling overhanded, and I've been bowling almost 2 years now. I started out, I was lucky to make 100 my first game. Well, now, I mean, some nights, you know, I'm lucky to make 100 too. But, you know, we're all human. But anyway, got a bowl tonight, start a new league. Both my wife, my sister, and my brother-in-law on Thursday nights. And Monday night, we regrouped as the tractor pullers. We got me and Gilroy is still on there, and we got the boss man. You tractor pullers watching this, you know who the boss man is. 74 years old. Used to throw a bowling ball all the time when he was younger, bowled on the leg, and y'all seen him bowl now. Hey, he still got it for a little guy. But old VZ, he's a bowling with us and having a good time. And then we got another guy filled in or wanted to be on a team, and this guy's almost professional. He's bowling 280s. He bowled a 292 the other night, so he's on our team. We're still running first place. We've won every week first place. Thank God to the three of us for bowling. Well, two of us for bowling real good, and I wasn't one of them. I mean, I had a pretty good week this week, but last week I didn't bowl worth a crap. But anyway, we're having a good time in life, you know. That's kind of like what I've been preaching for a long time, even on my Facebook page, you know, on the Table of Knowledge. Get your ass out of bed, get your ass out of that chair and go do something. That's what your body was designed to do, and that keeps your blood pumping, your blood motivating, you know, and everything. I had a guy this morning called me up about after I got up, sitting there in the house a minute, getting ready to leave. He called me up. He used to be a school teacher, good friend of mine, 78 years old. He told me he's 78 and asked me about my health and everything. And I said, everything's so, you know, good so far, other than got my teeth pulled. I get my dentures here before too long, but you know, that's the most important part in life, you know. I mean, or not in life, but for your body, you know. Just keep it going, you know. Keep your body going. Don't give up, you know, because you go to giving up and you sit down, that's when everything comes to an end. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Got to go do a little electric deal again this morning, and it's raining again, and turkeys are crossing the road. I think the turkeys are flooding out. They're sitting on the damn road. Got to try and find a dry spot. But anyway, I'll be back. I might do one in the morning. I'm not sure where I'm at on my schedule, but might do one in the morning. I won't be filming anything on Saturdays and Sundays unless we're tractor pulling. And put a little tractor pulling on here maybe. And but anyway, y'all be good, and catch you next time.